all my friends, present, past, and beyond, especially those who weren't with us too long. Life is the most precious thing you can lose. While you were here, the fun was never ending. Life a minute was only beginning. Captain Colvin Nichols, this one's for you! Never get that feeling, you can go on. Just remember the side it is that you're on. You've got friends with you till the end. If you're ever in a tough situation, we'll be there, no hesitation. Brother Hood's our rule, we cannot bend.
All right, fans, here are the first 11s, beginning with the away side, Southern Indiana Guardians FC. Your captain, number 2, Kevin Morgan. The keeper for tonight, number 1, Kofibi Abujo. Number 5, Dustin Kajiwami. Number 6, Titus Leroy. Number 7, Maximus Leroy. Number 8, Ibrahima Yaya. Number 10, William Seymour. Number 11, Sheikh Tiam. Number 14, Alexis Martinto. Number 16, Bei Dieng. And number 17, Felix Shaka. Head coach of Southern Indiana Guardians FC is Jeremiah Leroy. And now, here are the first 11 for your FC Milwaukee Torrent. Your captain tonight, number 4, Taylor Pill. Your keeper tonight, number 36, Shiraz Sadat. Number 3, Dylan Bond. Number 9, Gabe Bond. Number 12, Jamie LeCompte. Number 15, Lorenz Stickel. Number 20, Brandon Kaup. Number 23, Max Ludwig. Number 30, Rodrigo Lasso. Number 44, Alex Steinwasser. And number 97, Javier Steinwasser. Head coach of FC Milwaukee Torrent, Jeff Pill, assisted by James Weber.
Please rise. And now, to honor America and all that it stands for, as well as our freedom and those who serve to protect it, the playing of our national anthem.
wonderful evening here at Hart Park in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, as the FC Milwaukee Torrent take on the Southern Indiana Guardians FC. That's a mouthful, to say the least. The Torrent are coming into this matchup 4-0 in NPSL Central States Conference play. They are in first place, whereas the Southern Indiana Guardians are unfortunately sitting at the opposite end of the spectrum, sitting at, I believe, 0-5. My name is Kevin O'Connor. I will be filling in this evening on play-by-play. Glad to have you all here. You heard the starting lineups for my good friend, Brandon Rindfleisch. I got it right. Yes. Give me the thumbs up that I got it right. You bet. Slightly different look for tonight for the Torrent. In goal, you have Shiraz Sadat. He's coming to us from Boston University. He joined the team this week and is starting in goal. Jacob Eifert, who started most of the games up until this point in the season, unfortunately hurt himself in the last Wisconsin Cup match. And Shiraz just happened to come in at the right time. But the rest of the lineup for the Torrent looks fairly similar. Taylor Pill, Dylan Vaughn, Gabe Vong, Jamie Lecomte, Lorenz Stickle, Brandon Kopp, Max Ludwig, Rodrigo Lasso, Alex Steinwasser, and his brother Javier Steinwasser round out the lineup for the Torrent on this end. Over on Southern Indiana's side, Gavin Morgan, their captain. In goal, Kovifi Abuju, Desing Kajabwami, Titus Leroy, Maximus Leroy, Ibrahima Yaya, William Seymour, Chick Tom, Alexis Martinto, Bei Dang, and Felix Shaka fill out Jeremiah Leroy's roster for Southern Indiana. We're just getting ready to kick off. It's a balmy 71 degrees, a little overcast. Poor air quality still. We've been dealing with the Canadian fires here left and right this week. Remember Monday evening, stepping out of my house, it smelled like smoke. So we'll see what happens here as we get ready to kick this thing off. Torrent starting with the ball. Back to Sadat. In the middle with Pill. Up over the top. Number 9, Gabe Vong. Gabe Vong has had several goals this season. Oh, just a through ball, just missing. I believe that was Alex Steinwasser. Guardians with the ball. You have Morgan, their captain, with the ball. Over to the other side. It said number 3, so I'm not quite sure who that is on the Guardians. We got rosters. Sometimes they change. Back to Brandon Kopp. That is a name I said a lot the last game that I called was Brandon Kopp's name. He's just an anchor there on the back end of that defense. Really the shutdown guy for that defense. Really not letting a lot through. You have Lorenz Stickle over to Kopp. Pill with the turnover. Yaya with the ball for the Guardians. Top side across midfield and just out of bounds. Throw in for the Torrent. Stickle crossing field back to Kopp. of his. Gabe Vaughn slowing up there just a little bit, even though the keeper was outside the box. Wonder if he would have kept going, if he would have been able to make a play on that ball. Of course, we have quite a few lines here on the pitch here at Hart Park. I'm sure you've all heard it before. Football, soccer, lacrosse, women's lacrosse, field hockey. They play ultimate frisbee here. Lasso with the ball. Back to LeCompte. Stickle slips. Back to Sadat. Up to Brandon Kaup. Up to Lasso, but just missed. Kaup was wanting Lasso to move forward, but maybe just a bit too hard. Great header by Kaup. Handled by Vaughn. Turnover to the Guardians. Shaka. Shaka up to Leroy. Of course, the Leroy boys, and great save by Sadat. Going to result in a Guardians corner. Sadat tracking that ball down and just popping it over the top of the goal, saving that ball from a unfortunate goal, which would have been if it had gone in. Corner incoming, an in-swinger. And we're going to have a goal kick. Off a few Torrent players. Looks like I saw Dylan Vaughn there with it. A few others. Jamie LeCompte. Javier Steinwasser putting that ball through and sending that ball up and through. Mishandled there a little bit by Vaughn. Back to the Guardians. Morgan sending the ball over the top to Alexis Martinto, resulting in another goal kick. He went down on that play, though. And he is up now. Stickle up to LeCompte. Intercepted by Ludwig. Changing fields over the top to Dylan Vaughn. Back to Ludwig. Back to Vaughn. Back to Pill. Pill to Stickle. Near side to Kaup. Kaup pushing across the field looking for Vaughn. And Steinwasser. Steinwasser comes down with it. Some shoving. Steinwasser stepping over. See if he can get a pass in the box. Tried to cross that, not very hard, but gobbled up there by Abujo. Resulting in another and a kick here for the Guardians. Guardians trying to push this ball up. Morgan a little heavy-handed. Off of Martinto, resulting in another Torrent goal kick. Sadat to Stickle. Sticko going far side to Dylan Vaughn. Vaughn pushing that ball up to Vong. Seems to be the strategy here for the Torrent is get the ball over the top to Gabe Vong, to your strikers, and let them do their work. Well defended by the Guardians there. Hard to see these numbers on the Guardians. They're in white with a light blue lettering and design. The Torrent in their home jerseys in the blue and white. Comped out to Vaughn. Up to Steinwasser. Steinwasser back to midfield to Pill. Torrent going to reset here. Stickle up to LeCompte, back to Stickle. Over to Kaup. Kaup near side, crossing midfield. Lasso. Crossing. Defended by the Guardians. Great job by Brandon Kaup. Getting a little box out there on his defender, William Seymour. Looks like he's going up there for a rebound. Throw in. Not quite strong enough, but back to the Torrent. Pill with the ball, back out to Kaup. Kaup with a step over. Just crossing. Out to Lasso. Ludwig. Ludwig. Originally called for the Torrent, but well corrected by our head referee. That did ricochet off of Max Ludwig. And the Torrent are going to reset after that long kick by the Guardians. Up to Steinwasser. Changing fields here, near side to Kaup. Kaup has Lasso. Ludwig. Was trying to get a through ball there to LeCompte. Or no, sorry, Gabe Vong. Back to Steinwasser. Steinwasser loses it on the pass. Shaka takes that ball. Vong with the ball. Shot! Just touched enough there by Abujo. That it trickled near the goal and was able to be saved by Destin Kajabwami. Taylor Pill coming up and trying to grab that, trying to intercept that ball, but unsuccessful and causing a foul there. Ball over midfield, headed by Lasso to Steinwasser up to Vaughn. Torrent going to reset again. Stickle out to Kaup. Kaup up to Lasso. Lasso to, and that is a trip and a push. A good bit of sportsmanship there by Yaya from the Guardians. Saying my bad. Ludwig on the ball. On this side of the Torrent field. Vaughn over to LeCompte, over to Steinwasser. Far side, Torrent with the ball. Cleared by the Guardians. But it briefly intercepted there by Steinerscher, but again, couldn't handle it. We're playing a bit of ping pong here, and we're getting it in offsides there. Definitely ball back and forth quite a few times. Steinwasser up to Pill. Pill up to Vong. Lasso trailing. Step over by Vong. Center to Pill. Just off of the defender. Still going. Going to result in another goal kick for the Guardians.
Torrent fans, let's hear it for our incredible Silver All-Star sponsors who help make game day happen. A huge thank you to Wisconsin Harley-Davidson of Oconomowoc, Splat DPI, Confluence Graphics.
Guardians with the ball.
Our amazing food provider for every match, Revival 4-on-4 of Milwaukee.
Ball over the top. Scooped up by Sadat.
Let's give them all a big round of applause. Our Silver All-Star sponsors.
Cop on the ball. Kick back to Ludwig. Ludwig still on the ball. Loses it to the Guardians. Guardians were trying to play that same brand of ball that the Torrent are trying to play. Check Tom really trying to track that ball down. It's going to go the Torrent way, though, for a throw-in. If we're going to take a look at the full standings, Guardians have played 5 matches where the Torrent have played 4. They've unfortunately only scored 3 goals all season, have a negative 14 goal differential. Ball, Alex Steinwasser on the ball. Tripped a bit. Kicked out of bounds by the Guardians. It's going to be a throw in. Ludwig's going to take it. Quick throw in. Back to Ludwig. Into the box. Javier Steinwasser lost that one. There's the man I keep talking about, Brandon Kaup. Torrent going to reset again. Back to Sadat. Up to Lecomte. Stickle over to Pill. Pill up far side to Dylan Vaughn. Vaughn to Javier Steinwasser, and again loses it. But going back to those standings, Torrent on the opposite end of that, where they have 14 goals for and 4 against, with a positive goal differential of 11. Of course, their last NPSL matchup was last Saturday against the Michigan Rangers, which was a 1 versus 2 matchup in the Central States Conference, resulting in a 2-1 win for the Torrent. That one came down to a late goal by Jamie Lecomte in the 85th minute. Into the 17th minute of this first half. Near side to Brandon Kaup. Back to Lasso. Lasso. Back to Stickle. Taken away by Martinto. Back to Seymour. Seymour back to Morgan. Morgan over to Kajibwami. Guardian's going to reset here again. Back to Abujo. Near side to Morgan. You have the Torrent really pressuring with both Vong and there is the Wall. I'm just going to start calling Brandon the Wall Kaup. Can we call him that? He does not let anything past him. Talented player out of Edgewood College in Madison. A multi-year Torrent player. Right at midfield, LeCompte, former teammate at Edgewood. Transferred over to Parkside, down in Kenosha area. Over the top, maybe a bit too hard. Trying to pick up Lasso as he broke towards the Guardians' goal there. Thrown by William Seymour. Lasso picking up that ball. Pill with a turnover. Oh, that was an unfortunate goal. Trying to see who that was by number 14. Alexis Martinto. Not a ball that should have happened. The Torrent are down 1-0. Alexis Martinto.
19th minute.
All right, let's see if the Torrent can recover here. Of course, the Torrent had played a game this Wednesday in the Wisconsin Cup, where they tied with Madison United 1-1. Ball over the top, and again, Brandon Kaup with the header.
See if it was offsides. We'll take a look at it. Give us a minute.
Let's see if maybe that goal was a bit offsides, but not sure that it was. It didn't feel offsides, but
It didn't feel like it. It's hard to tell. You looked offsides?
of course we have Brandon's brother Adam here helping us out today, running camera, doing a great job. I don't think he was. He was behind. He was behind. Yeah. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say he is not offsides, but again, an unfortunate goal there given up by the Torrent.
Looked like he was not offsides. Not offsides. Over.
Back to the action. Martinto. Yaya. Yaya trying to push that ball through. Seymour covered by Lasso. Dylan Vaughn kind of running around. Morgan and Vaughn. Lots of pressure. Torrent ball. Max Ludwig on the ball in the box. See if they can score here. Lasso with the ball, great save. Vong with the header back. Another save by Bujo. This is going to be a Torrent corner, far side. I believe this is Taylor Pill. Taking it far side. It's going to be an outswinger. Dylan Vaughn. Handled by Lasso. Or sorry, that is Alex Steinwasser. Back to his brother Javier. Back into Pill. See what the referees do. I think they're going to give that. That's off of a Guardians player. It looked like Vong went up. I believe that was with Kabajwami.
Yeah. Handball. Can you still see it? They say the players say it was a handball.
Ball in the box. Back out to Ludwig. Ludwig. Turning the ball over. Leroy with the ball. Steinwasser. Now Steinwasser has it for the Torrent. Pushing it up. Up top. Guardians kicking it out of bounds.
Well, they also, the players say he does.
Vong with the ball. That was a push from behind. Referee says play on. Getting a little physical in the box here. Lasso with the ball. Ball is kicked out of bounds. Ludwig into Lasso. Lasso back to Ludwig. Nutmeg. Into the box. Let's see if they can make something happen here. Pushing, lots of pushing and shoving. Pill back to Vaughn. Help on the far side now. Ball being kicked out. Lots of opportunities here for the Torrent, just haven't been able to finish it. This game is getting a bit physical from the Guardian side right now. And Paul Lecomte, you'll be happy. We're going to be on this side of the field. You get to see our first train for this evening. Up to Lasso. Lasso back to Ludwig. To Lecomte. Vong with the ball. Ball in. Torrent goal. That was number 20, Brandon Cope. Adam and his brother is going crazy up here. Great ball. Several opportunities, several chances. Right place, right time. Brandon had shifted from the near side over to the far side for the last several minutes. He's going to throw the ball into the stands. He was trying to hit his brother, maybe. But that makes it 1-1 Torrent Guardians.
That's an FC Milwaukee Torrent goal by number 20, Brandon Kaup. Kaup in the 27th minute. Brandon Kaup in the 27th minute.
Torrent evening it up here. The Brandon Kaup goal. Coming in the 27th minute. Guardians back on the attack, but a turnover. Stickle near side to the goal scorer we just had, Kaup. Ludwig changing fields over to Javier Steinwasser. Just not strong enough, but Steinwasser to Steinwasser. Back to Pill. Near side to Kaup. Lasso on his left side. Ludwig to LeCompte. Ludwig taking it up. He's got Vong in front of him. Steinwasser, Vong, Ludwig. Couple yards out. And just right straight into the Guardians defender. But there's Kaup to gobble it back up. LeCompte. Back to Stickle. Stickle to Steinwasser. Steinwasser's got people ahead. Just a bit too strong from the younger Steinwasser. Straight into the waiting hands of Abujo. So we're getting some insights here. It helps to have a twin brother here, right? Twin brother in the booth. So Brandon actually plays forward, but he's a heck of a defender. Heck of a defender. I think he breaks the mold that forwards are, typically aren't very good on defense. Kid, I don't know. Stickle over the top to Vong. Vong with the ball. Off his head. Trying to track that ball down. Kajabwami. Over to Morgan. Pill kind of tracking Morgan down. Loving the comments. Thanks, Rob. Always happy to provide a train. When there's one, we'll inevitably have more. Just seems to happen that way. Might even get a Amtrak. Over the top. Alex Steinwasser. In a battle with Czech Tom. Over to Javier Steinwasser. And offsides. Martinto was offsides, trying to score another goal. But we'll have him up here about the 30-yard line. Our head referee's going to say, no. That was a little too fast. But Martinto clearly offsides by quite a long way, several yards. Easy call for our linesman here on the near side. Sadat, near side to Lasso. Kicked out by Morgan. It's going to be a throw in. Kaup up to Stickle. Stickle back to Kaup. Back to Stickle. Up to Dylan Vaughn. Vaughn over the top to try to go to Vong. Vong tracking that down. And Steinwasser in! Javier Steinwasser with the second goal of the Torrent evening. It's a lovely ball. Kind of ate that a little bit up from Gabe Vong. And again, just like Kaup's goal, in the right place, right time for that rebound.
And in the 33rd minute, it's an FC Milwaukee Torrent goal by number 97, Javier Steinwasser.
You're my counterpart, Brendan Rindfleisch, in the background, helping out today on PA while I do a mediocre job on play-by-play. Let's see if the Torrent can keep pressuring. Abujo biding his time, having to step back in the box right around, I believe it was Max Ludwig.
Looks like you pressed the wrong button on the controller. Here.
Morgan to Seymour. Morgan is on the ball.
That feels really good. That feels good.
Bit of a relief here for the Torrent to score that second goal. It always feels good to go up in here, in the kind of latter parts of the first half. Stickle up to Vaughn. Vaughn back to Sadat. Sadat near side to Kaup. Kaup to Lasso. Lights are on here at Hart Park. Still a lovely temperature. Over the top. See if... Boy. Abujo has really... It does get confusing with these lines here. I will give him a bit of the benefit of the doubt. Certainly in the last couple of plays, he has been quite unsure of where he is. And it is a bit of alphabet soup if lines were alphabet soup, but Kaup back to Kaup. Kaup up to Lecomte. Turn over to Morgan. You had the right thought there. You had Vong. Vong is just going to start streaking. And there he is. Gabe Vong. Into the box. Crossing. Just missed. Alex Steinwasser. He needed to channel his inner... Totally spacing the guy's name. Wow. Needed just a few more inches, and that ball would have gone off of his head. He would have probably had a goal there. Back to Sadat. Ronaldo. That's the name I was looking for. Ronaldo with his famous header. Kaup. Just a little bit too low. Ball almost hitting some of our fans. Great save by one of our fans in the front row, saving her husband's face from a ball. Lasso to Vong. And offsides called. Could see that one coming. Max Ludwig. Our head referee told him, no, back up. But then I think it's funny. The ball went literally right back to the same spot. Morgan. Bit of gamesmanship, so to speak. Out to Seymour. Seymour to Shaka. Back to Seymour, back to Morgan. Torrent pressing. Number 18 out there. I'm not quite sure. Is that number 18 or number 8? Couldn't tell. Looks like a number 8, number 18. That may be Xander Leroy. Again, the Leroy brothers. There's 3 Leroys on this team, including their dad, Jeremiah, who sometimes suits up if he needs to. Ball about 40 yards out, now into the 18 of shot taken. Quite a bit over the goal. Not even sure I would count that as a ball on target, but Kaup, a little too heavy. Turnover. Shaka. Back to Kabajwami. Near side to Morgan. Say one person who has not stopped moving this entire game is Gabe Vaughn. He's been trying to put pressure in that onto that back line of the Guardians. Lasso with the ball. Trying to control it here. Looks like he's going to maybe come out near side here. Or back to the middle to Lecomte. Lecomte up to Vaughn. Torrent slowing it down a little bit. Back to Sadat. Sadat near side to Kaup. Kaup to Steinwasser. Up to Lasso. Kaup to Lecomte. Lecomte up to Vaughn. Vaughn going to push that ball up to Vong. Vong with the ball. A dribbler. And Abujo intercepting that ball. In our 31st minute. Foul on the Torrent. Two-1 heading in the 41st minute. We'll see how many minutes of added time we will get here. Just a bit heavy-handed by the Guardians, resulting in a Torrent throw-in. Jeremiah Leroy, very vocal. Not sure if you can hear him or not, but very vocal. Handled by Javier Steinwasser. Kick back to Ludwig. Ludwig's got Lecomte in front of him. Alex Steinwasser back to Ludwig. Ludwig to Vong. Intercepted by the Guardians. I can imagine we'll see Martinto take off here. Kaup with a good interception, kicking it out of bounds. Slowing that, kind of allowing the defenders to get back for the Torrent. Throw in back to Morgan for the Guardians. Ball in the middle. Handled by Vaughn. Up to Pill, up to Lasso. Lasso to Javier Steinwasser. Back to Kaup. Kaup to Pill. Back to Steinwasser. Taking a moment to gather where he wants to go with it. Ludwig. Throwing it back into Stickle. Stickle to the middle to Alex Steinwasser. LeCompte. Back to Kaup. Kaup to Ludwig. Ludwig's got Lasso ahead of him. Steinwasser, Alex Steinwasser streaking ahead of him. Mishandled by Javier Steinwasser. Back to Ludwig. Ludwig to Alex Steinwasser. LeCompte's got to be careful. It was a little offsides, but there's Vong. Oh, called offsides. That was very, very close. I'm not quite sure about that, but far side AR saying he was offsides. That was very, very close call. Bujo with the kick. A bit heavy-handed. Handled by Kaup. Up to Lasso. Lasso up to Ludwig. Torrent pressing. Javier Steinwasser. Straight into the waiting arms of Abujo. Abujo with the throw out. Up to Seymour. Great defense there by LeCompte. Again, slowing that pressure down from the Guardians. Into Maximus Leroy. Name we haven't said much today. Steinwasser. Out to Lasso. Just not enough there from Lasso, but Steinwasser trying to clean that up, but intercepted by the Guardians. See how many minutes we're going to get here. Looks like we got 2 minutes. I believe we have 2 minutes. 2 minutes? We'll go with 2 minutes.
The referee is making it 2 minutes at a time, 2 minutes.
I think I saw it too. If it's 3, we get an extra minute of action. Seymour being harassed by Lasso. Ball near side to Ludwig. Ludwig to Steinwasser. Steinwasser to LeCompte. Vong. Back to Ludwig. Ludwig, stop, turn. See if he can get a shot off. Shot saved by Abujo. Back out. Yaya tracking that one back down for the Guardians with Vong on top of. Stickle with Martinto. Martinto on the ball. Tried to cross that ball to Shaka. No luck there. Going to result in a goal kick for the Torrent. About a minute and a half into added time. Looks like the Torrent, unless they score here, they're going to take a 2-1 lead here into the first half, into halftime here. Dribbler up to Stickle. And that is the first half. Boy, things started out a little rough for the Torrent. 14th minute, in the 19th minute, Alexis Martinto scored for the Guardians. But it was followed up shortly thereafter by a goal by Brandon Kaup in the 27th minute and Javier Steinwasser in the 33rd minute. So that puts us at 2-1 Torrent. We're going to go into halftime. Take a little break. We'll be back a few minutes before. Stick around. That's Milwaukee Torrent 2, Southern Indiana Guardians FC 1. My name is Kevin O'Connor, and you are watching FC Milwaukee Torrent Soccer. And we're back here at Hart Park, ready to kick off the second half. Torrent up 2-1 over the Southern Indiana Guardians. Early goal by the Guardians by Alexis Martinto in the 19th minute. Then the Torrent fought back from a goal by Brandon Kalp in the 27th, and then Javier Steinwasser in the 33rd. We're getting ready here to kick off this second half. I'm not aware of any changes at this point yet, but we'll kind of figure them out as we go. Was watching the soccer tournament, the great soccer tournament earlier today, and former Torrent player Drew Ruggles showed up. He's playing on Pat McAfee's team. Drew Ruggles, of course, played for the Torrent from 2016 to 2018, I believe. Certainly can't miss him with his long dreads. This has been his style for many, many years. But scored a goal today to help them move to the next round. I believe the round of 16. So Drew, we wish you the best of luck. He played for another team last year that made it to the finals. And there we are. We're on to the second half here, but Drew, of course, a part of some of those teams of the 2016, 2017, 2018 that did really well. Guardians with the ball. Javier Steinwasser taking it away. Up to LeCompte, back to Steinwasser. Up to Vong. Vong being chased down by Titus Leroy. And just let it go over the end line, resulting in a Guardians goal kick. Cooling down here a little bit up here, at least up here in the press box. I'm starting to get wind in my face. Down to 68. And again, kind of dealing still with some of that Canadian smoke we've been dealing with it all week. It's not been fun. Really making the air quality poor. It's gotten a little bit better. We're sitting at 75 on the air quality index. It was 83 when the game started. Guardians with the ball. Up to Seymour. Seymour over to Shaka. Back to Morgan. Morgan getting chased down by Ludwig. And Alex Steinwasser. Ball out of bounds. Throw in for the Guardians. Seymour's going to take that. And a quick turnover to the Torrent. Back to Sadat. Ball in the box. Ludwig, save. Kicked out by Abujo. Looks like we had a change by the Guardians at halftime. Number 23, I have no idea who number 23 is, but in the box for the Torrent. Rocket off the foot of, I believe that was Lasso. Kicked out of bounds. It's going to be a corner kick. Great job by Gabe Vong. First few minutes here of the first half. Ball in. Guardians, ball now. Great defense by Javier Steinwasser to break that up. Ball kicked by Maximus Leroy. Back into Leroy. Off of Vaughn. Vaughn up to Lasso. Nice move. Push from behind. Right around the 40-yard mark. Up to Pill. Pill to Lecomte. Vaughn back to Steinwasser. Steinwasser to Lecomte. Steinwasser just a little heavy. Ball up. Martinto looking for the ref to like give him something, but that was just shoulder to shoulder play there. He got out hustled. He got out hustled by Stickle, by Lorenz Stickle. But ball back. A little overshot. Back to 23. I have no idea who 23 is, unfortunately. Near side to Tom, and he's offsides.
Carlos Rodriguez.
23 is Carlos Rodriguez.
Not listed on the starters, but that's what I have.
So 23 came on for the Guardians. Carlos Rodriguez over the top on sides, but taken out by Morgan by the Guardians. Headed back in by Pill. Alex Steinwasser, shoulder to shoulder with Captain Morgan. Captain Morgan. By the Guardians captain, Gavin Morgan. I don't know if he is Captain Morgan, but certainly his goal celebration should be as such. One of the Leroy brothers. Taken away by Javier Steinwasser. Up to his brother Alex. Alex side by side. And there's a goal! It is onside. Alex Steinwasser. He was going side by side with Destin Kajabwami and just got it by the goalkeeper. Wasn't anything hard, didn't have to be fancy, just needed it to be right where it needed to be. And we're going to have a substitution here.
52nd minute, that's an FC Milwaukee Torrent goal by number 44, Alex Steinwasser, assisted by his brother, Javier Steinwasser.
We're going to have Ronaldo Lopez coming in. He's going to be replacing Lasso.
Entering
Entering the pitch for FC Milwaukee Torrent, number 10, Ronaldo Lopez. Number 10, Ronaldo Lopez.
So Ronaldo for Rodrigo Lasso. That goal was, in the words of Ted Lasso, barbecue sauce. Torrent back on the attack. Just a bit heavy. Again, scooped up by Abujo. Vaughn headed back. Kaup. Back to Sadat. Far side to Kaup. Kaup's going to push it. Just a bit heavy. Lopez couldn't quite catch up to that one. A rocket off the foot of Taylor Pill. Well, that may have been inadvisable. The veteran captain certainly saw a moment that he could take a shot, but it was just a bit heavy. Got under the ball just a tad bit. Bit of back and forth there, but again, back to Brandon Kaup. Up to Lecomte. Lecomte's got Steinwasser. Alex Steinwasser. Javier Steinwasser off to his right. Taken away. Steinwasser wins it back. Crossed. Headed out by Seymour. Pill back to Kaup. Steinwasser. Almost looked like a play that was broken. Lecomte couldn't quite handle it. Abujo clearing the ball. Some shoulder-to-shoulder play. Steinwasser goes down, but was able to get back up and win that ball back. Pushing it forward. Up to Vong. Vong. And we're going to have a penalty. Vong taken down in the box. Who is going to take this ball? Can't quite make out who's going to take this kick. It looks like Max Ludwig. Veteran on the team. And it's in! In the 57th minute, Max Ludwig with a screamer into the bottom right corner of the goal, scooting it right past Abujo, making the score 4-1.
Milwaukee Torrent go for number 23, Max Ludwig.
Max Ludwig with a goal. During the exchange, during the celebration, 24, Ali Al-Shabat coming on for the Guardians. Looks like Alexis Martinto, who scored that goal early on to put the Guardians up 1-0. Early on is going to take a seat for the rest of the evening. You have to start wondering if Jeff Pill and James Weber are going to start looking at having a few guys warming up. Not quite yet. Torrent up 4-1, heading into the 59th minute. Out of bounds. Guardians kick throw in. One of the Leroy brothers. Say that 5 times fast. Again, a bit heavy-handed by the Torrent, resulting in a goal kick here for the Guardians. Abujo. Back at the Steinwasser. Steinwasser a kick behind to Vong. Vong couldn't handle it. But back to Steinwasser, able to take it apart, take it away. Xander Leroy. Alex Steinwasser had an opportunity just a few yards outside the box. Turned that ball over. Vaughn. Vong. Pill. Back to Vaughn. Up to LeCompte. Up to Culp. Culp so fast on his feet. Steinwasser, back to Culp. Almost number 2. And Vong, a ball that was right in front of him with a wide open net, just up and over. Unfortunately, does not get 3 there.
Big thanks to Solomons Pub and Grill and Badger CrossFit of Wauwatosa for their
But great save by Abujo.
to our club and community. We're proud to have you on the Torrent team.
That ball by Kaup was a screamer, and Abujo did a great job handling that. If Kaup had scored that goal, his twin brother up here, Adam, who's helping us out on camera tonight, would have gone absolutely nuts. I don't think he might have been able to continue the rest of the game. But big shout out to Adam. He's been doing a great job here helping us out today. Unfortunately, out with an injury. Another name we haven't seen quite yet this season. Angel Gongora. We wish him the best. He just underwent knee surgery.
Entering the pitch for the Guardians, 16, Bai Diang.
Coming out for the Guardians, Bei Diang. It's coming out. Chek Tiam coming out. But Angel, we wish you the best. Sounds like it was been dealing with some pain all season in his knee, and go from there. Certainly I can relate. In case you haven't heard, last week I talked about potentially having to go to the doctor. I went to the doctor, and guess what? This guy gets a new knee at the end of July. I think it'll be surgery 7 or 8, I forget. But gotta love bone on bone. Being done at our great sponsor, Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Dr. Parisi, I look forward to working with you. Ronaldo trying to track that one down. A little slide. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. Steinwasser. Oh, up to his brother, Alex Steinwasser. And a foul. Great trainer here from Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Chatting with him last week, and he's awesome. So thanks again to Mosh, as it's so lovingly called, for keeping our athletes going. Strong header out of bounds. Guardian ball into Seymour. Seymour taken away from Seymour. Ronaldo Lopez taking that ball away. Ronaldo started several games this season. Heavy-handed, but back off the fencing here at Hart Park. But it was off of Abujo, resulting in a corner. Quick corner. Max Ludwig. See if he can get a second one. Out to Steinwasser. To Lopez. Bit of a push there on Lopez. I didn't quite see who had pushed him, but resulting just 10 yards or so outside the 18. Ball sitting about 27, 28 yards outside of the goal, about 10 yards outside of the box. It's like Max is going to take it into Brandon Kaup. And a goal, follow-up goal by Alex Steinwasser. 66th minute. Alex Steinwasser with the brace. Another rocket off of Brandon Kaup's leg. Rebound off of Bujo. Right into the waiting foot of Alex Steinwasser. Puts the Torrent up 5-1. It was certainly a shocker.
The 66th minute, that is an FC Milwaukee Torrent goal.
Certainly a shocker when
Number 40.
the Guardians went up 1-0 early on. The Torrent have scored 5 unanswered goals since then, since the 19th minute. This is how most folks were expecting this game to go. Nothing against Southern Indiana, but they've obviously struggled all year. They're a newer club this year. Heavy international presence. Abujo out of the box with the ball. Yellow card on Abujo with a handball. What he was doing outside the box, I have no idea. He's had a couple of those this game where you've kind of questioned why he's ventured outside of the box. But yellow card shown to Abujo.
Yellow card assessed in the 67th minute. Number 1, Kofi D. Abujo. Yellow card, 67th minute.
So about 5-ish or so yards outside of the box. Maybe a few more. Looks like Max Ludwig is going to take this one. Alex Steinwasser, who just scored the last goal. Ball in. Straight into the waiting head of Titus Leroy. Max Ludwig with the ball. Steinwasser. Back to Vong. And just a bit off his foot there. Gabe Vong has had several opportunities this game and has unfortunately come up short. Another yellow card. Believe that was, it's one of the Leroy brothers, I believe. Of course, when you need them to turn around, they don't. 18, yep. So that is Xander Leroy with the yellow card. Kind of came in a bit hot on Lopez. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. The best wishes. It's a long time overdue. That's for sure. As my doctor said, the first 3 days are going to suck, and then he's going to be my best friend. So, looking forward to it.
The yellow card was assessed in the 69th minute, number 18, Xander Leroy. Entering the pitch for FC Milwaukee Torrent.
Got several substitutions coming on for the Torrent. Zinedine Croton, Anas Chalks, and Juan Lopez. Coming off for the Steinwashers.
And number 7, Juan Lopez.
So you have Croton coming in, Zinedine Croton, Anas Chalks, and Juan Lopez all coming in for the Steinwasher brothers, Alex and Javier, and then Gabe Vong. Zinedine, of course, coming to us from the University of Missouri. It's a St. Louis Park, Minnesota native. Ball, Croton. And goal! Wasting no time, Zinedine Croton making the score 6-1 Torrent. Nice ball over the top by the back line of the Torrent. And Croton just took that ball. Unfortunately, he's better with his feet than he is with his arms. Couldn't quite make it to the stands with our mini balls that we're throwing out this season. But what a goal from Croton. Wasting no time scoring there. 6-1 Torrent. This game is getting a bit out of hand. We're in the 74th minute now. 4 second half goals for the Torrent. Croton trying to find Lopez there. Gotta love the sounds of Hart Park. It sounds like somebody's on a chainsaw. It's a little moped with a 2-stroke engine on it. Wow. Great moves. I believe Lopez, unfortunately, got knocked down. No call by the ref. A bit of jawing from Abujo, though. As Anas Chalks was on the ground. Can't be handled by Al Shabat. And Lopez held there by, it looked like Kajabwami, but no call again. Lecomte on Morgan. Things getting a bit physical. Morgan grabbing Lecomte and kind of shoving him to the side and getting a call. He's certainly voicing his displeasure. No card yet, but we have Christian Arderi waiting to come in for the Guardians. Ball in. Just misheaded.
Visit MilwaukeeTorrent.com for all the latest information on your FC Milwaukee Torrent. See the upcoming schedule, find out about camps and events, connect with the Torrent on social media, and check out the new online team store. The best place for Torrent fans to be anchored together online is at MilwaukeeTorrent.com. Entering the pitch for the Guardians, number 12, Christian Arderi.
Arderi coming on for Felix Shaka. Okay, 6-1 Torrent in the 77th minute. Stop and play. Guardians ball. Couple of players coming in. Nico Steinweg. And Nathan Seeley. 2 starters from last week's game. Gotta imagine they're going to be coming in for to the back line, guys.
Number 6, Nathan Seeley.
Nathan Seeley coming on. And Nico coming on for...
Also entering number 70, Nico Steinweg.
Coming on for Max Ludwig. Nathan Seeley coming on for his teammate, Dylan Vaughn. So teammate for teammate in college. Those guys play at Salem University. The comp to Chalks. Save. by Croton. Just a bit heavy by the Guardians. Ref says, no, 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 no. Not so fast, my friend. Up to Pill. Pill topside to Kalp. Kalp back to Stickle. Stickle back to Sadat. Up to Lopez. Skyball into the center of the field here. Lopez back to Lecomte. Lecomte to Seeley. Seeley up to Chalks. He's trying to get it up to Juan Lopez. Taylor Pill. It'll be a Guardians corner. First corner for the Guardians in quite a long time. Taken by the Torrent. Juan Lopez. Juan is one of those players, he's on the team last year, just one of those players that can just come out of nowhere and score. He just has that ability. Such a great player, such a fierce striker. Steinweg can't handle it. Seymour with the ball. Hill. Back to Chalks. And of course, Anas Chalks coming to us from Des Moines United last year. Certainly saw him several times. Of course, Andy Davi recruiting several players that have been the bane of the existence for the Torrent the last several years. Anas being one of those. Almost taken away by the Torrent, but Abujo again, not afraid to come out of his spot and track that ball down. Ball back to Sadat. 82nd minute, Torrent 6-1. Game well in hand. Ball up past midfield. Over to Croton. Croton into Lopez. Lopez took a shot at that, but was just slightly missed and taken away by the defender, by the Guardians. Penalty on the Torrent. Torrent still pressuring the Guardians on that half of the field. They don't want to stop here. They don't want to stop at just 6-1. They want to make a statement to the rest of the Central States Division. Of course, both the men's and the women's teams participating in the Amateur Cup, the U.S. Adult Soccer Association. Torrent have a game coming up this week. Going to be in Burnsville, Minnesota on the 12th this week. to take on the team they beat 1-0 last year, Vlora FC. So they got a bit of a haul to head up to good old Minnesota to get by Vlora FC again. The other matchups in that group are... Oh. Torrent going down. Torrent player going down. Looks like... Taylor, is that Taylor Pill? Looks like Taylor Pill got knocked around a little bit. I think that's him. Yep. Yellow card, I believe, is on 16. 15, 16. Couldn't quite tell. I believe it was 16. Bade Yang. But Thursday, June 12th, Torrent are taking on Vlora. If they can get by them, not sure what the bracket looks like, but could set up a rematch with Bavarian United SC in the regional final like it did last year. That was perhaps one of the most intense soccer matches I've ever been a witness to, with the Torrent coming out on top and eventually making it to the national finals. I'm proud to say, actually, that the national finals are going to be hosted in Milwaukee at Uline Park.
In the 84th minute, there was a yellow card assessed number 16, Bade Yang. 84th minute, yellow card.
That is now public knowledge, so I can say that out loud. So hopefully, both Torrent teams can make it to the national semis and finals and bring home a title. So national finals the weekend, the week of the 21st. I believe it's the 26th and 27th. Okay. Yes, I will be quite laid up. Juan Lopez going shoulder to shoulder with Abujo. Abujo finally coming away with that ball. Guardians had the numbers there for a second. They were 3-on-2. Shot taken, just a bit wide. '87th minute, we got the coach, Jeremiah Leroy, coming on.
Entering the pitch for Southern Indiana Guardians FC, 21, Jeremiah Leroy.
Coming on for one of his sons, I believe, or is it brother? I'm not sure. Coming on for Xander Leroy. Jeremiah kind of donning the kit, getting out on the field for the last few minutes, maybe get a little workout before they head back to Southern Indiana. But yes, very, very excited to hear that the Amateur Cup is being hosted here in Milwaukee. Of course, Bavarian United have won that cup a few times. And of course, the Torrent in their first year playing in the Amateur Cup, making it all the way to the national finals, losing to the eventual champion, the New York Pan-Cyprian Freedoms out of obviously New York. Looks like that Region 1 final will be the 14th. I believe one of the matchups already has taken place for the Region 2, but I don't see an updated score. But again, the Torrent taking on Vlora this week, Thursday. Bavarian United are taking on RWB Adria. Again, Abujo coming way off of his line. Why? I have no idea. Referee has indicated 3 minutes.
The referee has indicated 3 minutes of added time. 3 minutes.
So we head into extra added time. Again, Abujo out of the box, making some pretty, as our PA announcer Brandon has mentioned, his inhibitions are getting the better of him. Guardians with the ball. Let's see what Jeremiah Leroy could do. Croton with the ball for the Torrent, taking the ball away. Cross to Lopez. Back up to Seymour for the Guardians. The coach player, Leroy. See if the Guardians can get one more on the scoreboard. Al Shabbat. Moving the ball away. Hey, Dan. Back to Seymour. Kajabwami with the ball. Great save by Shabbat. And punched out. The Boston University product with a great save at point blank. And then got back up and punched that ball out. Talking to Adam Kaup here before the game, and he's very impressed with Shiraz and how great of a goaltender he is. And that play just proved it. Be in good hands with Shiraz if he in the net. Chalks taken away by Leroy. Chalks gets the ball back. Up. Push down by Titus Leroy. Heading into the last minute of what would be added time. And the Torrent, I think, are just content to take their time here. Taylor Pill, their captain, going to take this ball. Make sure you turn it around, hit the right side of the ball. Laces out. Ball's going to be served in. A bit hard over across to Lorenz Stickle. And a fight for the ball. Cleared out by the Guardians. It dribbles along the sideline. And that is full time.
Right.
6-1 Torrent win.
And your final score from Hart Park. FC Milwaukee Torrent 6. Southern Indiana Guardians FC
6-1 Torrent over the Guardians. Things were not looking good if you tuned in at about the 20th minute. Alexis Martinto for the Guardians put the Guardians up 1-0. But then
FC Milwaukee Torrent.
the Torrent tied it up in the 27th minute by Brandon Kaup, followed up with 33rd minute by Javier Steinwasher.
In the 33rd minute. And the second half in the 52nd minute.
So the Torrent went into halftime up 2-1. Not quite where they wanted to be, playing a team that is at the bottom of the table and the Torrent being at the top.
Alex Steinwasher.
So, as they came back from halftime,
Number 21.
4 more unanswered goals. We had a brace by Alex Steinwasher, scoring in the 52nd and the 66th minute. Max Ludwig sandwiching that. He's the cream and the Oreo at 57th minute, put a goal in there. And then a few minutes after coming on the pitch, Zinedine Croton adding another one in the 72nd minute.
Help keep our athletes strong, healthy, and ready to perform at their best.
The win puts the Torrent at 5-0 in the Central States Conference
Hart Park will be next Saturday.
and in the driver's seat.
The men take on FC Pride. And
Unfortunately, this drops the Guardians to 0-6.
for the game will be at 7 p.m. That's the Torrent.
Torrent will be back here next weekend taking on FC Pride
On behalf of
in another Central States matchup.
each and every one of you for coming
They have a
out the team tonight. Your energy and passion
matchup.
players make this club what it is. We can't wait to see
So FC Pride is three wins, 1 draw, 2 losses.
Stay loud, and as always, go Torrent!
Of course, the Torrent taking care of business early on in the season, down by the FC Pride, winning 3-0. So that's it. The Torrent wins 6-1. Torrent are undefeated in this season in the Central States Conference and look to keep going next week against FC Pride. In the meantime, they travel to Burnsville, Minnesota to take on Vlora FC in the U.S. Amateur Cup. And we want to give a big shout out to the out to the Torrent women as well, as they head down to Chicago tomorrow after a big win this week over Bavarian United 2-1 in a thunderstorm shortened game. It was only played one half. But tomorrow the Torrent women take on Chicago House AC in a matchup. So looking forward to the Torrent winning that game hopefully tomorrow. The Chicago House is 2-0-2, but the Torrent are on top of that table. Don't let the standings fool you. The Torrent women have only played 3 games so far, but have beaten both the Green Bay Glory and Bavarian United SC. So good luck to the women tomorrow. Once again, Torrent 6, Southern Indiana Guardians FC 1. Big win for the Torrent this evening. Thank you all for joining. My name is Kevin O'Connor, filling in for much better qualified play-by-play host, but I hope I was able to do a good job for you all this evening. Again, thank you all for watching FC Milwaukee Torrent Soccer. Keep supporting us. Your support means everything to this small club. Again, thank you everybody for coming out. Best of luck to the Torrent men this week, and we will all see you soon. Take care.